Curious which version of them is going to show up, but you would have to think that in a quarterfinals battle, their best version is going to show up and show out.
Place in the semi-finals up for grabs as we get this last men's quarterfinal underway on centre court. In the white shirts, it's Diaz and Alayo of Cuba, seeded 13 in the main draw. World ranked 21, climbing from 31 very quickly, or 39 even, very quickly after some solid results in the last 3 events. They have been consistently pushing for top honours. Solid start then from these two. Came through qualification against Moll and Berndsen, the Cubans, then lost to Illes and Winkler of Germany. Beat Sarabia and Cruz of Mexico 2-0, then lost to Benesh and Partain of the USA, who crashed out to Brunosiak once again. Team that seems to have their number. And there you go, there's your classic Alayo. He is all energy.
Yeah, classic Pablo Herrera, though, going high, heavy heat into the cross court.
We love him, don't we? If it ain't broke, don't fix it and all that. It is one of my boring old beach volleyball stories, but the first time I saw Herrera play was in Stade, 2001, and I was stood next to the court and there was an explosion, and I turned around and this ball was just sailing off into the grandstand, and Herrera had hit this warm-up shot, and honestly, I didn't see much like that before in my young life. Incredible play. So Cuba have the audacity to go after Herrera early on. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's a bit of pick your poison against the Spaniards, because when you go after Gavira, his vision's some of the best on the Beach Pro Tour, and he can just slice and dice you to death.
No slicing involved when Alayo is on the end of a ball. He's been regularly jump serving at 100 clicks plus from the baseline. And he's a showman, he really is. Not going for the big jump serve here, just the little pop float before sprinting into the net. Got some good movement on that. Like it, really like it. I mean, honestly, it's an incredible shot. I wonder, Rich, how many times Herrera has scored with that exact shot in his career?
Thousands and thousands and thousands.
Must be.
Yeah, it must be. And one of the things I really like about him, and it probably speaks a little bit to his longevity, is just his technical proficiency. His posture in the air is so good, which kind of, means he's landing well and not putting any pressure on one side or the other of his body excessively.
Work. Nice movement from Gavira. Herrera can't get enough on that. Diaz defends and then just rolls it into the middle of the net. Good hustle from Spain on that last play.
That's why the effort is always so important. Sometimes all you have to do is keep rallies alive, keep extending them, and your opponents will give you some freebies, as Cuba did there to Spain.
Had extensive knee surgery in January 2022, Pablo Herrera. I wasn't convinced he was coming back. It took a little while just to get back into the rhythm of things, but on occasions he's looked like the Pablo Herrera of old on the Beach Pro Tour.
I was going to say they both kind of look lean and mean.
They're looking
Pablo
ready.
And Adrian?
Yeah, they're looking ready. Now then, the problem that you're going to have against this Cuban pair, as Rich said, which Cuban team is turning up? Well, it's the positive version that has shown up for this quarterfinal, that's for sure. The other problem you have is if you can't get them out of system, Rich, their physicality is going to hurt.
Yeah, it is, and the Spaniards, not really known as a great defensive team, as you mentioned. They're a split blocking pair, kind of an anachronism of sorts, throwback to the old days of beach volleyball, but they side out so well, with the exception of that play there, perhaps.
Got away from him. They don't want to give this Cuban team any kind of look here. They'll be loving this. They'll be loving having a shot at another big finish. Oh, it's gone against him, reaching into Spanish airspace.
You mentioned at the top of this broadcast, Simon, Pablo's ability to massage the referees. We may have seen just that.
Here we go. And I think Herrera's got a point.
Yeah, that was the correct call. Well done by our officials.
3 of them down there, if you include Pablo. Wow. He's putting up a serious umbrella at the moment, Alayo.
If I'm Diaz, however, for Cuba, I don't know why I would ever hit anything soft. I'm 7 feet. I can get tremendous trajectory. Spaniards don't put up the biggest block on the World Tour.
Nice. Cuba will take that, 7-all. They've ridden it out against a good start from Spain. But Spain, they're just the archetypal competitors. It really doesn't matter how long it takes them to suss it out. They're happy to wait. They're happy to go the distance.
You'd have to say there's not a scenario on a beach volleyball court that they haven't been faced with at one point or another.
Yeah, that is a good point. The experience file will be packed, but this will be a challenge, and the team that they're playing here is so different from the slightly tentative pairing that first stepped onto the stage in La Paz at the start of last season. This is a team that has grown massively in confidence, this Cuban pair. There we go. Hammering away now is Diaz.
That's not sure he should ever do anything other than that.
Yeah, until he stopped, just keep going. 9-7, good move from Cuba. This is a team that beat the reigning world champions in the round of 12, although, has to be said, Perisic and Schweiner not at their physical best here in Tepic. There was a problem yesterday. They forfeited their game, their 3rd game of the day. I don't know if you saw that, Rich, but their coach came down to see them at the end of the game, and our VBTV cameras are on them, and there was quite an extended argument between the players and coach about the fact they'd forfeited.
Interesting. Yeah, I did not see that.
It was enthralling TV, I can tell you. Soap opera stuff.
I'll tell you, I don't think you want to get into an argument in English with Andre Perisic. No. I think he speaks better than the 2 of us.
He's a clever boy. So, Spain just kind of ghost back into the lead. Nice ace down the middle. And that's what they need to do. They need to get this Cuban pair sniping at each other and not channeling all that energy through the net. Wow. Oh, what a great move that was from Gavira.
Really good commitment. Alayo coming out of the middle. Gavira just bodying him up and making a good reach back to that right sideline.
2 points down to 2 points up. Herrera and Gavira back in control. All over this one. Well, the 7-foot Diaz decides not to stay in and block and pays the price. 12-9 up at the technical timeout, looking a bit good now for Spain.
And keep your eye out on the body language from Cuba. That kind of 5-point swing historically doesn't bode well for them.
It's a great flag, the Cuban flag. Some fans in on the Cuban team. What a volleyball nation they've been down the years, Rich, and just a shame the way that things have worked out, that we haven't really seen the best of them since probably the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, agreed. So much volleyball talent has come out of that small nation. And I mentioned it the other day when I had the opportunity to do one of their matches. You know, I love the patriotism and the love for country that you see from all Cubans, in spite of, you know, some of the problems they have in that country, and in spite of a lot of people, you know, especially from my perspective here in the United States, a lot of people trying to leave that country and go other places. There's still this intense national pride, which is always wonderful to see.
And some seriously good volleyball players out of an incredible program. Now, can they recover their composure? Spain are going to try and just needle away, and it's another frustrating shot missed by Gavira.
I think he tried a little too hard maybe to pay off that wonderful set from a diving Pablo Herrera.
Still a 2-point cushion. Testing serve to Herrera, picked out of the net, and very cleverly just rolled off that swipe of Alayo, so Spain get out of trouble there.
Something to monitor, though, as this match goes on. They've been keeping Herrera under quite a bit of pressure, the Cubans have, with that good serving.
We'll see what kind of physical shape he's in if they keep going after him. Coming back into things here, just a bit of momentum on their side, once again going after Herrera. I think Alayo fancies his chances of shutting down that big cross-court swing.
I would think, it's amazing to me to watch Pablo Herrera offensively, because that looks like advantage Alayo with that big reach into the angle, but Pablo just doing such a good job staying high and hard with that swing.
Again, really good movement around the court. This time they find the transition shot. Spain extend the lead to 4.
We'll get a replay on, I'd like to see how Pablo, that was the very tail end of it. I thought for a minute there might be a collision between the Spanish players, but Pablo's a great finisher.
Diaz attacks high and attacks straight into the block of Gavira, and Spain putting the hammer down here.
I feel like every opportunity I have to call a Pablo and Adrian match, I mention that they're not really known for their defense and their blocking, and then Adrian comes up with 2 big stuffs already to kind of shut me up.
It's literally our job to get egg on faces by the end of the game.
That's right, in the third for Adrian.
Brilliant. I mean, it's just nothing short of brilliant. And it's a team that knows when the chance is there, and they're going to try and turn it on with everything they've got to keep extending this lead.
Yeah, you could make a very good argument, I think, for Pablo and Adrian being maybe the best example of the concept of kind of working within what you have, not getting outside of themselves, not trying to keep pace with some of the new trends in the game, just knowing what exactly it is that they do well, that they don't do that well, and playing within those confines.
That was nicely worked. Ball out. Alayo says no touch. We've seen a few of those incidents discussed heatedly at the net by Pablo Herrera last season or so. Lets it go, though.
He is not afraid to stand up for himself, we'll say.
No. Let the ball do the talking, though, on this occasion. So Spain extend the lead to 18-12. Job nearly done here in the first set.
One of my responsibilities very early on with the team of Taylor Crabb and Jay Gibb was breaking up a physical altercation between Pablo and Taylor.
Yeah, he does not suffer fools gladly, and that includes referees and opponents.
That's right.
Who started it?
It was just kind of the post-match chirping, and both Taylor and Pablo are chest out kind of guys, and so every now and then those two things collide.
And it all adds to the pageantry. We don't want to get too far into it, but I don't mind a little bit of a dust up once in a while. I think it all adds to it.
Yeah, you love the intensity, and you certainly, don't like to see it the other way, where you're convinced that people don't care that much.
Yep. These guys care. These guys care. Otherwise, they wouldn't still be out there at 41 and 36 and taking Cuba apart.
Yeah, this is almost shocking a little bit, because Cuba had that little run that got them in the lead, and then Spain managed to put 5 on the board in succession and have never looked back.
Whoa, just about manages to dodge that one, but that was close. Luxury of 6 opportunities to still kill off this first set for Spain. And it's courtesy of an error that Spain get it over the line. 21-14. It's a dream start for the Spanish duo. They lead Cuba by a set to 0.
Really, as it turns out, in dominant fashion.
Well, when you consider the problems that Diaz and Alayo have given some of the top teams in the draw over the last 3 tournaments, this is a solid display from Herrera and Gavira.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, their victory, you mentioned they have a proclivity to go 3 sets.
Yep.
But in this tournament, at least, they've come out on top of all of those 3 setters. And so they are playing extremely well. I mean, taking out Gormans and DeGroat, no easy task.
So far, so good. The Spanish duo, who are great friends with another enduring team, the Grimaldi cousins of Chile. Very often they kind of hang out with them, and as Pablo Herrera said, it's how they get through this whole journey of spending so much time together.
That is kind of fascinating how there are those little sort of pockets within the Beach Pro Tour of teams that have great friendships.
Off we go then with our second set. Too many friendships down there on court as Noslan Diaz and Alayo of Cuba try and get themselves back into this game. But it's an incredible body of players, and it's always been so. There's something about beach volleyball that engenders this incredible community. And then that's the other.
I'll tell you, a big part of it is sort of the necessity to rely on one another for trainings and so forth. You know, it's not like an indoor thing where you've got 12 or 14 players traveling on a team, you train together and so forth. You've got to go to any given event and kind of link up with other teams to practice and kind of get yourself tournament ready. And so there is this built-in necessity to, I don't know, maintain that good vibe amongst competitors.
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of why that happens. And I love the fact, Rich, that at a Beach Pro Tour event, you can still get up close to the players. You'll be walking around the village and they'll be walking around with you.
Right, right. That is very true as well.
As long as you don't don't talk to them just after they've lost. They're usually quite amenable.
Yeah, that's a good sort of pro tip. Don't go up to a player who just finished a match and go, "Did you win?" Because if they did not, you're not going to get a very enjoyable interaction.
Oh, that was a horrible interaction from Cuba. Goodness me, that's a shocker. There's no call of yours in beach volleyball, otherwise you're in trouble. Diaz passes this time, comes in on the little short set, like that move.
I think that has to be the mindset for Cuba. Really double down on their physicality, because that's their advantage in this match. You know, obviously the experience, kind of the ball control, I would say, all the other intangibles are going to go the way of Spain, but the physicality is on the Cuban side.
Good touch. And a huge swing. That's how hard Diaz can hit the ball.
And again, when you've got that in the bag, why go anywhere else until the other team manages to stop it a handful of times?
Side switch for the second time with Cuba up 4-3. No joy at the moment for Alayo at the net. Not managed to stop the Spanish attack. Oh, wow. And I'm certainly continuing my run today of Nostradamus-like predictions.
Yes, right. Nostra Golding.
What a stop from Alayo.
That worked out beautifully. Big dive into the angle.
Oh, that was well done. That was very well done. Wry smile from who's just killed the ball. He knows what Cuba are trying to do here, and they're going to keep trying to do it. They're putting him under a huge amount of pressure with the serve. That was a heater. How did Gavira touch that ball? And they're a little unlucky that that's not come out a little better.
That's more self-defense than defense, I think, on that particular attempt.
I have a modelling contract coming up, so I've got my hands up pretty quick. The ball is travelling so fast, it is testing the limits of human reaction time and movement time. That's very confident, very calm from Herrera, so they're just going to try and ride out this little burst of energy from Cuba and then push again.
Nice touch on that line shot from Pablo. You could hear Adrian exhorting him into the angle. That worked just as well.
Yeah, nice work. Great setting from Alayo.
Almost surprisingly, they don't really incorporate a lot of the option stuff. Even on a tight pass like that, Alayo never once thought about going over with that ball.
Yeah, and you just feel that they're suited to hitting a lot more second balls than they do.
Yeah, they certainly have the size, they have the physicality, they have the ability. Just not something they've worked on, I guess.
They're still very young, same age as Orman and Helvig of Sweden.
That's shocking to me.
There's another scary prospect for you.
Yeah.
Another great team in the offing. Too good. I'll tell you what, Adrian Gavira has put on an absolute masterclass of finesse blocking today.
Yeah, he's demonstrating the concept as well, and I certainly mean this in no way as a slight. He's not the biggest blocker. He's not super high up over the net, but he's placing his hands and shaping his hands so perfectly. That's his fourth stuff already.
Tight. Good save out of the net. And, well, Pablo was tempted to have a word there with the referee, but he's left it alone again.
I'm not sure what he would be going after there. That was a really nice left-handed push from Alayo to get that deep, because Adrian was peeling quickly.
He's finally got his man again. Alayo has been after that block for a while now.
Really good hand positioning, especially on that set out wide. As we were talking about, it's not always easy to identify the contact point when that set's that loopy.
Well, certainly Spain's ball control being tested by this relentless serving policy. They're going after Herrera with everything.
Those balls do appear to be dancing quite a bit, don't they?
Yeah. There's definitely some movement in this arena. That is very good. Second time we've seen him using that particular play. Alayo puts it in the right place, and Diaz unstoppable here.
Yeah, that's just a great turn, because if Herrera is to go to that line side, that'll be easily seen by Diaz, and he'll just crank the angle.
Yeah, very good. Very good vision from Herrera. And Alayo, it doesn't matter where the set goes, he's not pulling for love nor money.
Yeah, it would seem that way. As you mentioned, still young. There's lots of little arrows they can still add to their considerable quiver.
Follows a very similar route, and again, it's really tough to stop that. Gavira just doesn't have the height and physicality to do that.
Another good read from Gavira, but well done by Cuba to just stay aggressive and stay physical.
Out, no touch off the block, and for the first time in this match, Spain just looking a little sketchy. So
perhaps one of the other things we've spoken into existence is the potential of a third set yet again.
Yep. It's definitely happening, maybe.
Now you're trying to employ the reverse jinx?
Well, for some reason, Spain seem to love a three-setter. You would have thought at their age, with the amount of years they've got under their belt, they want to get on and off court as quick as possible. But it looks like they're going to have to battle all the way again here, because Cuba's starting to look very strong.
Perhaps that's how you add to your longevity, as you continually test yourself, increase your medal.
I mean, I just, when I look at Herrera's CV, I can't believe it sometimes. You really do have to double take. He started in 2001, played some tournaments with Javi Bosma and Raul Mesa. He eventually settled into a longer partnership with Javi Bosma, which was successful. Several World Tour wins, as it was. And then picked up the fabulous silver medal in 2004. But it does look highly likely that we're going the distance here, because Cuba have built a nice lead, and on the front foot, playing confident, they are an absolute handful. Too good. Cuba on a roll here.
A fair amount of Cuban fans packed in here.
I'm loving this. Too good. This really is impressive from Cuba. Great range of movement, good ball control, and Spain not at the races at the moment.
Yeah, kind of interesting to see Pablo in this sort of offensive rut. Not something you see very often from the experienced one.
Bidding for a 6th Olympic appearance, Pablo Herrera. Just like this match, it's not a done deal yet for these two.
How about that 6th Olympic?
There are very few athletes in world sport that have achieved that goal. And in such a physical sport as well.
Yeah, I mean, that almost makes you say, and he's only 41.
Yes,
you think
yes.
that he would be older than that to reach such a milestone. Just a testament to how long he's been good at what a young age he came onto the scene.
Cuba back to work, 15-9. Looks like our first 3-set quarter-final is in the offing, but I think we're going to keep our powder dry on that because this Cuban team does have the ability to spontaneously combust.
And the Spanish have an ability to impose their will, as we saw in the first.
Here we go. That's a massive hit, but it's massively out for Cuba.
You know what, though? I kind of like that swing from Alayo. He misses it. You never like to see a mistake in that instance necessarily, but the aggressive mindset, fantastic.
Getting tested with the serve here, though, after Alayo's ball control, but he's done enough with it. I mean, Rich, from a coaching point of view now, this is a golden opportunity for Cuba. They've got to take this one to the bank.
Now, without a doubt. And the challenge is, you know, to sort of calm yourself down and not try and do anything that you haven't been doing thus far. You know, sometimes it's hard to close, especially against such well-known and such experienced opponents. And you start to press and you start to get a little outside of yourself, and you fail to realize that what you've been doing thus far is all it takes to get over that finish line.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I often say to younger players, doesn't have to be a better ace, it just has to be another ace.
There you go. Yeah. And what a great look that was, kind of a new camera angle for us.
Love it.
Right down on the sand, you can see the power of Alayo.
I flinched. Nice middle serve. Free ball. Pumped up to the rafters and out. And Cuba are romping it in set 2.
Really great composure here. And as we were speaking about it, the Cubans just kind of going about their business. Very workmanlike.
And sticking religiously to this policy of serving Pablo Herrera. Once again, Alayo is a little shocked that Diaz isn't all over that one. Great interaction between the two Cuban players there. Whoa! He can still cut the mustard.
Throwback, Simon taken back to 2001.
I was.
With the audio on that.
Fantastic from Herrera on the overpass. Right, here we go. Here we go. Here's Spain's chance just to get themselves back into this set. Cuba have to side out here. And side out they do. 3 sets is on the cards now.
Really nice job to not be tentative. Good aggressive move on that middle serve from Alayo to take it.
Well, Pablo Herrera has had to pass and hit absolutely everything in this match so far, so he kind of knows what's coming in set 3.
That was a touch of class. 2 meters off the net, the short line roll shot. Very difficult to execute.
That'll definitely be the last time Alayo pulls. Oh dear, oh dear. Cuban timeout, possibly. Not so good.
I love the chance, you know, for the crowd involvement, but it doesn't help the mind of an athlete when you just get aced and then everyone in attendance starts singing a song about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Good serve, better pass. And that is a swing and a half. That's a proper heater.
Like there was a little extra follow through on that swing from Alayo.
Wow. That's Jose Loyola territory.
Yeah. That's another guy. I remember him in warm-ups in '93 when he and Angelino first came to the States.
Wow, yeah. 4 set points, Cuba. That'll do it. And Cuba dragged this match into a third, and they are looking very good to put Spain under some serious pressure here. Told you, Rich. Death taxes and 3 sets for the Spanish pair. So
we're the manifesting man today.
Captains come in to toss the coin. Monitoring handshakes before we get this one underway again. Well, we know what Diaz and Alayo are going to do. We know they're going to come out and go hard at Pablo Herrera. He's lost his rhythm on side out, as you said, Rich, and he's got to try and find some shots here. Gavira putting on a good show at the net with the blocks, but not enough in that set. Cuba negotiating a way past the guys at the net pretty easily with some quite expansive play. Looking really good now coming into set 3. Can they keep it going? This is a massive opportunity for them to book a top 4 appearance for the first time at an Elite 16 event.
Now this would be a win to hang your hat on against this Spanish duo for Cuba.
Off we go then with the shootout to 15, and Herrera gets a little bit of revenge there on Alayo. First point on the board in this tiebreaker to the Spanish pair.
And it seems like that's where he's a little bit susceptible, Alayo, out of the middle. Spain guessing right and really committing to their calls.
Surprised to see them serve Diaz after that initial block, but there we go.
Yeah, I vacillate a little bit on that one just because it looks like an attempted middle serve, right? So sometimes you get the ball to float the other way, but I am generally speaking in favor of, you know, if you score on a guy, stay on a guy kind of a thing.
Snatched at it. Snatched at it. He was there as well, and you know, just for good measure, Alayo's made absolutely sure he lets Diaz know he's not happy. just what you need.
Just what you need, yeah. Sometimes you almost, you know, you get yourself set up and you expect a certain shot, and you get surprised when you actually get that shot you were expecting.
Spain go after here? Back to that middle serve. Diaz steps over confidently. Very similar circumstance for Herrera, but he makes the shot beautifully, just tomahawks it straight up into the air and thumps the return ball.
Yeah, his balance was a little bit better in the backcourt, controlled that tomahawk beautifully, and then put away from the body.
It was ever thus. Spain have worked it out, sorted it out, and they take a 3-1 lead in this race to 15. Well, Cuba need to go to work, so they've got the side out. It's allowed them to get to the side switch without too much damage being done, but they don't want to be distracted from their main focus of serving and trying to play against Pablo Herrera by getting stuck in a bit of a side out rut.
I like that response from Diaz as well. His shot on the play prior picked up, so he goes back to the whip.
Tested, tight, Alayo gets a piece of it, but Spain reuse. There's that vision from Gavira that you were talking about.
Yeah, really nice play from Pablo too on the first tight set to just kind of pop it into the block of Alayo and recycle for his squad.
Across to Diaz. Diaz goes hammer into that angle again. Gavira just lets it sail over his head. Once again, your classic partner coaching must do better. Well, this will be a nervy hit, and he's made it quite phenomenally. They are bouncing some serious balls in this match.
Yeah, I'm more than twice his age, and I don't think I would want Alayo upset with me.
No. Lovely set. But a great touch on the block has to come. Here we go, Spain makes the play. What are your thoughts on the block being counted as a touch in beach volleyball? That just makes it tougher and tougher, doesn't it?
It does. You know, it's tough to have an opinion different than that, though, because that's just the way the game is. You know, I think, yeah, I don't know. I like the game the way it is, and, you know, that makes for some difficult situations, but it also makes for some incredibly electric plays defensively.
Oh, wonderful. And Gavira allows himself a celebration there after the most ridiculous blocking move on Alayo.
You can tell how much this means to Adrian and Pablo, because you rarely see that level of emotion out of them. Pretty big fist pump from Adrian, and deservedly so, because that move outside his body with the hands is tremendous.
Well played, Adrian Gavira. Well played, Pablo Herrera. He's withstood the onslaught at the start of this tiebreaker set, and they've built themselves a nice cushion here. I do like this angle. Watch the height. Oh, just takes the pace off it and rolls it to space. So Cuba hanging in there.
The last time we got that camera angle, we saw the thunderbolt from Alayo, so it's not surprising that Pablo's a little dug in defensively.
Good dig. Spain react that Gavira with the ball, can't get it past Alayo, and Cuba just starting to build their case here in set 3.
That's a big one. Adrian's been pretty successful just kind of chopping Cuba up with little shots. Tries to go with something a little more powerful there, and Alayo has the answer.
Not tempted to serve Gavira again, though. They go back to Herrera, and Diaz has dug him again in the angle. Can't get any fizz on that. Diaz gets stranded at the net and gets completely sand-sharked on that one.
Lest you think beach blocking is an easy skill, have a look at 7-footer up there.
He got himself in a bit of a pickle, as we'd say in England. So the injection of effort from Cuba, and then another one of those horrible miscommunications on pass, and those are just freebies for Spain.
Yeah, you can see how much that ball slid right to left, however. Alayo thinking that was coming to him, and it just slid all the way over into Diaz's zone.
More straightforward hit to the line this time. Diaz copes with it, thumps it away. Crowd getting right into this, that enclave of Cuban fans as well on side. Pass from Herrera, Gavira working hard, but Alayo gets the throw down, and that's the kind of range he has on his block. So this is a little bit worrying for Spain, Rich. There's a chance here for Cuba again. Or maybe not.
Yeah, I think one, Spain can withstand. If Cuba start to string a couple together, and they're running out of time to do so, but if they can manage to side out, string two together, then it gets problematic for Spain. Otherwise, I think experience wins out, and Pablo and Adrian just roll to the finish line.
5 points for Spain to get to book their place in the semi-finals, and get in amongst some valuable points as well in terms of the Olympic scoring. And that little tickle off the block just took it away from Herrera. Brief glance between the two great friends.
I like how you said that. Just a little tickle changes the trajectory just enough to confound Herrera back there.
Still just the 2 points in it, which can be extended to 3 with the serve error or side out. This is not the time for Cuba to start missing. And these are great experiential moments for this Cuban side, this young Cuban team. You can't instantly be able to play your way through these tricky situations. You have to learn how to do it, don't you, Rich?
Yeah, you really do. It's one of the things that's so kind of mind-boggling about the Swedes and their level of success, because you thought the learning curve was going to be a little steeper, but they just powered their way through. This Cuban's making a fine showing, but these are kind of the moments you need some battle testing in.
Here we go. And there's a man who's played many, many times through these moments, Pablo Herrera, so he knows exactly what he wants to do right now, and that's slow the game down. As well as Sumaville not having anything to do with it. Big side out. He's got it. He's got it. Just got enough on that ball to get it over Alayo's block. And again. Time delay card. Sumaville's not having any of it from the experienced Pablo Herrera.
I'm not sure what the issue is. And obviously they're conversing in Spanish with one another, but I don't know what Pablo's complaining about here.
Like he was talking about something happening underneath the net, maybe a contact. Nicely done, nicely done. So Alayo and Diaz not getting involved in that whole dynamic between the referee and the Spanish players. It all goes on around Adrian Gavira, incidentally. He just lets it all wash over him. Oh dear. Well, Pablo Herrera might just have talked himself out of a point there. Did not look fully engaged on that swing, which is unusual for him.
You can manage to distract yourself at times.
Needs this ball now. Spain need this point. There's the move, it's a good touch, and once again Alayo cannot believe that Diaz has not followed the master plan.
I mean, obviously I'm not, kind of in their trainings and so forth. That looked like pretty good timing to me defensively from Diaz. Just a crisp shot from Pablo.
13-11. Getting a bit too close for comfort here for the Spaniards. And once again, Alayo just strokes it to the floor. Cuba have done very well just to switch their side-out game to a very positive area.
Really nice look. That great swing from Alayo. Just kind of a 60% cross-court, not a hit, not a shot, somewhere in between.
Two big serves, 2 big points. Will take Cuba to match point, and then that happens. So just when they've needed their very best serving, it's gone awry, and it's allowed Spain to get to match point without really having to work for it. Diaz knows it. 2 match points. Pablo Herrera to serve for a place in the semi-finals here in Tepic. It's tight. It's very well saved.
Yeah, Diaz was a little beside himself about missing that previous serve, but he redeemed himself there with that run-through set. It was a beauty.
Well, there you go. At the back end of set 2, if you'd offered Herrera a swing for the match, he'd have taken it. Can he take the chance, though? Solid pass. Here we go. Oh, it's way out. And Herrera is demanding that a touch is given. Alayo goes full on, double flex celebration to the Cuban fans, and they are level, and Spain have missed a massive opportunity to shut down a very dangerous match.
That is big indeed. That did not look like a touch and seemed a little beggarish out of Pablo.
Oh, well, there you go. There's the class of the man, able to come up with that even after all that drama and allow himself a little smile.
Yeah, little glance between the Cubans again, but Pablo just so crisp with that shot. I think everything but that Diaz is on, and I again think he's making a good defensive move. It's just a better shot in that instance.
3rd match point. Herrera versus Alayo, and Alayo just goes straight over the top of him. 15 apiece, round we go. Alayo enlisting the help of the Cuban fans up there in the stands.
Certainly the spark plug on the Cuban side.
Still, Cuba not serving Gavira. They've gone exclusively at Herrera for the entire match. Pressure's on again for Pablo, and that is one hell of a shot.
Extra oomph.
Oh, dear.
15 all in the 3rd. The 41-year-old has plenty of gas in the tank.
4th match point for Spain. Streaky pass and a massive kill, and Cuba continue the drama.
That had to be millimeters away on the arms of Alayo from being an ace, but he manages to corral it. A great set from Diaz.
16 apiece. Cuba can still win this match. One big block from Alayo, or one good defense from Diaz, and once again Alayo feels his partner has let him down.
I'm curious if that's what he actually thinks. That good positioning. Again, that is such a difficult shot to come up with because your blocker is into the angle. You're expecting something loopy.
Fifth match point, another tricky pass. Alayo is dug. Here's the chance for Spain to win it. No! Would you believe it?
That is shocking to me, quite frankly. That's two now swings for the match that have been just direct errors from Pablo and Adrian, which, you know, I would think you would be hard-pressed to find another instance in their careers where that was the case.
17 all, deep serve on Herrera. He makes a good pass. Tries to go over Alayo, can't do it. Oh, and then gets the counter block, followed by the obligatory argument, and we got another yellow.
Oh boy.
This isn't good for Spain.
I think that's a little bit unnecessary too. I don't think there was any kind of showing up done towards the Cuban players. There's a little bit of, you know, how about that to the fans maybe, but, you know, again, that's kind of what you want, right? A little bit of passion, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of interaction.
We love it. Sixth match point for Spain. They try out Diaz. He gets it off the block. This is Gavira for the game. He can't get it past Alayo. He's too strong on the tape. And Cuba save again. Well, Rich, I hope you haven't got any dinner reservations, because remember, these two went 32-30 in their first game in La Paz at the start of last season.
Luckily, my recliner here does have a seatbelt, so I've strapped in.
18 all. It's out. It's no touch. And again, an error from Herrera is huge. But this time, it's an error that presents Cuba with a match point opportunity, their first of this epic tie.
This is just astounding. I mean, what a performance from these Cuban boys. Whichever way this match ends up going, they certainly have to be proud of the level at which they've played throughout here. And this is great stuff. This is exactly what you want.
I don't know what Spanish is for not again. We've definitely arrived at that point for Herrera and Gavira. Well, pretty sure Cuba will serve Herrera again. It'll be Herrera versus Alayo at the net, and if Alayo roofs him, I'd pay money to see the celebration that's going to follow. Cuba then, first shot at winning this match. Herrera gets the serve, and here we go. Here's the head-to-head. And they tried something a little different there. It wasn't the best set from Gavira, and Herrera shoots to stop the match point.
Not sure our up official has the intestinal fortitude to whistle that set at that point in the match against Pablo Herrera.
Oh, off the hands and over the head of Gavira. Cuba now on the front foot. Every time they score with a side out, they take themselves to match point, and it's a second match point as we go deep into overtime. Herrera versus Alayo, and he this time finds the blocker's hands. Fans thought that that was out, but it caught Alayo on the way. Another save for Spain. 20 all.
This is just, you know, haymakers at the end of a great fight.
It's a wonderful contest, isn't it? It's turned into an absolute thriller.
Not sure if you watched UFC 300, the Max Holloway-Justin Gaethje fight, but at the very end of the 5th round, they both just stood toe-to-toe and exchanged haymakers. It reminds me a lot of what we're seeing right here.
Oh, wow. Just how a good contest should end. But it ain't over yet. And that is a sweet hit. I tell you what, Alayo is finding it from somewhere. I wonder if he'll be tempted to have a bit of a dart with his serve here. He's got an absolute thunderbolt of a jump serve. Is he going to take the risk on match point number 3? No, it's the pop float. Deep on Herrera. Here we go again. And Diaz has got him. This for the match. There it is. And Cuba win an astonishing game of beach volleyball. Spain are out. And Cuba are through to the semi-finals of an Elite 16 event for the first time. And their star doesn't just continue to rise, it is shooting. What a result.